Yeah, like usual, I didn't talk for the first few sets. I found a 1 rep max for squats, which is 85 for 1 rep. Camera. So 85 for 1 rep is my max right now. So if I had to make a goal for the year end, I'd say getting 100 or 110 for a few reps or just 1 rep by the end of the year would be my goal. But whatever comes. I'm not going to force anything. Progressive overload is not something you can force. Trying to force progressive overload is trying to force 5 plus 5 equals 11. It's just not going to happen. Progressive overload does not cause muscle growth. Progressive overload is caused by adaptations that your muscles build to loads. But I digress. So 70 kilos RDLs. Not going for many reps here, 6 or 5 reps, and that's enough. What's this one? So after those RDLs, they felt good. Next plan, attack a set of Bulgarian squats, just 1 set, and then 2 sets of standing leg curls, 2 sets of two sets of sorry, 2 sets of standing leg curls, 2 sets of leg extensions, or possibly just 1 set to full failure. But then I'll probably change my mind into 2 sets anyway. So, what is your problem? You are very mean right now. You are very mean. I do not like what you are doing, Vibhas.
So?
This is not good. Not good at all.
So?
I will put police case on you.
So?
Anyway, yeah, let's do 1 set to failure of this, since my glutes get a lot of activation from RDLs and squats. So, though I do like a quad dominant squat, you gotta admit there is some glutes in it anyway. And I'm talking too much.
What happens if I do this again? You blow your heart out. I'm gonna go this.
About your hamstrings, they are biarticular, and biarticular means they cross 2 joints. They cross your knee joint and your hip joint. And what it means for a muscle to cross a joint means that any action from that joint will target or will recruit motor units from that specific muscle. So your hips, hamstrings cross both your knee joint and your hip joint. So they are activated by two forms of joint movements, and both target different parts of the hamstrings. So the first movement is your hip hinge, any sort of hip hinge. So RDL, machine RDL, even one of those cable ones, weird rowing form. But anywhere where your hip is used as a hinge, your hamstrings are activated. And second is this movement. I don't know what you call it. I think it's this flexion. This is flexion, and now you could ask, squats also do knee flexion, but then they train the quads. That's because your hips move at the same time as your knees. And what happens is, when you're moving your hips, your hamstrings have to move. But so do they have to move when you're flexing your knee. So that creates an antagonist inhibition where your hamstrings do not move, and in result, your quads get targeted. That's where a squat works. Whereas when you're doing a leg curl, your hips are in place, it's just your knees moving. So there's no hip extension or hip hinging, hip movement to reduce or to remove the activation of the hamstrings. So keep that in mind, because if you're hip hinging with a lot of knee flexion, you will lose quad activation. So you will lose hamstring activation. And if you're doing leg curls with your hips constantly moving, you will lose hamstring activation. But I'll start this set, and after this I'm going to do 2 sets of leg extensions, and I'm done.
आपकी बॉडी लाइक तो आपको वेट कम लगेगा तो आप इंक्रीज कर सकते हो, ठीक है। बस ट्राई करना कि वर्क को वेट प्रॉपर्ली, ठीक है, प्रॉपर्ली वेट करना और आराम से रिलीज करना। ये शुड बी वेरी फास्ट, कीप इट स्लो, थोड़ा फ्रिक्शन आना चाहिए ऐसे रिलीज करने में। सेकंड यू नीड टू मूव योर लेग एट ऑल, द मोस्ट यू मूव योर लेग द मोर यू मूव योर लेग, ठीक है। एक मिनट
Look at that weight. Look at that weight. Watch this move.
ऐसे कर लो, एक ऊपर ऐसे, दूसरा 15 चेस्ट मारना।
One more set.
So go on there and make it, live your things, because I like it a lot. So give it a shot. Give it all that I got. La, 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 la.